And now let's edit an I/O gateway configuration. Again, the different ways of going in to edit it. Right click and you can edit device configuration. You can have it selected and go edit device config, or Control E. Or when you're in all gateways, you can double click. And then let's go over to the I/O gateways tab. These are the group IDs for the different classifications of inputs or outputs on the I/O gateway. The analog group ID, the relay group ID, and the serial group ID. But to see what's all attached to those, we need to go in and we'll edit the device config. The identity tab, we're going to go through this. Arthur, you can edit the name from here, software version. The network IP addresses, these are grayed out and locked out, including switching the mode until you click on the little lock icon and unlock it. Net 3. Now you can change the IP address fields of all devices. This is still grayed out because you're still set to dynamic IP address. You can switch to static and now edit the IP address if you want to set it up to be something very specific. I'm going to leave mine as dynamic and lock it. This is the Tftp server network address. This is where you can edit the Tftp server IP address that the gateway stores inside itself. So when you go to upload software to a gateway, you get 3 choices from GCE. The first one being use the IP address stored locally. This is where you can edit that. The second one being use the IP address of this computer, so it'll download software from your computer. And the third one being that you can set it to something else entirely. Down here we have a couple of different buttons again. Backlight on and off. You can trust that behind me there's a I/O gateway with its backlight turning on and off as I click this. And then test relays. This is going to open another dialog, and it's actually kind of nifty. It's great for troubleshooting. At the top we have the name and the IP address, but down here we can test the relays. Checking a relay checkbox will immediately close the relay in this gateway. Unchecking it will open the relay. So now as I go through this, and not quite loud enough for you to probably hear, but I am in fact closing each one of these relays. And I can go back through and open them and so forth. So if you've got it hooked up in a rig, you can go and click these different relays and check and make sure that everything's wired up right and you're getting the response you want. When you close out of this window, no matter how you close out of it, it restores the state of all the relays. So this is a very temporary thing. This is just a test. When we cancel this, they all open and everything's back to the way it was. Update software button to initiate software download to the gateway. Reboot the gateway and then reset the dynamic IP. This means that it'll take the dynamic IP address that has been given from the DHCP server, dump it, and then ask for a new one. And if it's on a network that hasn't changed, odds are it'll get back the same IP address again. Or if it's moved to a different network, it's not a bad idea to reset the dynamic IP and force it to get a new one. All right, and then on to the analog tab.